okay, getting the first pick.
Get 3, Pyro, get 3 with the
Wade Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
And welcome to tonight's Discord game for Overwatch Tranquility. I'm Gizmo Charmander, here with Time Mooster. How are you tonight, Time Mooster?
I'm doing great, and it's pronounced Time Munster, but thank you for bringing us in. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Tonight we have Exodus versus Ignis. It's going to be a really fun match. I know I'm looking forward to a lot of cryptic feeding and, tranquility. We all know how good cryptic is on the feeding. What are you looking for tonight?
I'm looking for a bit of a solution to famine here from Cryptic. I'm looking for some good games and hopefully some Reinhardt. I'm a very big fan of Reinhardt. Every single time I see it, I'm always happy. So I'm a simple man.
Nice. So the first map tonight is Lijiang Tower. I'm definitely expecting a lot of Symmetra. Probably going to see maybe a little Junkrat here and there. He's been very big, in the Overwatch League, so I wouldn't be surprised if people bring him in. We'll see probably some Pharmacy and maybe some Lucio boops.
Yeah, I'm also excited to see potentially some Symmetra, because that strategy is very strong in Night Market, and it can be played on the other two. So I'm very curious to see how deep into the Sim people are willing to go.
Yes, very. And who knows, we also might get a little love of ball tonight, too, because Lijiang Tower, not necessarily the greatest because you lose your Overwatch mind, but people do enjoy watching some good ball play on Lijiang.
Yeah, absolutely. The more Among that the play is, the better. So I like Ryan, but I also would not mind seeing some Wrecking Ball. Such a fun hero.
Right. We're just waiting for the two teams to get ready, and we'll get started.
So the experimental patch, how much do you think that's going to affect matches?
I think this might be the first experimental card that will get little out of it. If they nerf Brig anymore to the ground, as a Genji main, I already feel sorry for them. And I know you said you were a Hog main before we started, so I know you're looking forward to not getting shield bashed every 2 seconds. But as far as everyone else goes, I think the Orisa nerfs are definitely a key value. It's going to change the double shield meta. We'll probably see a lot more Sigma Rein if it does follow through. It's always amazing to see what they can come up with to try to balance the game out more, and it's really nice to see that they are doing it so often. And now there's experimental cards out, I truly value it. But just wait on Ignis, and once we get there, we'll be able to start the match.
I'm very much hoping that, like you said, the Orisa Ryan, or not the Orisa Ryan, but the Sigma Ryan comes in a little bit more, and it looks like the race we're going to be hopping in here. I'm really hoping that the Orisa or Sigma Ryan does come in to be more prominent, because, like I said, I love Reinhardt, and I'm really excited to see less Orisa played rather than the other tanks because she's been in the spotlight so long. But already we're seeing some Hammond being shown, so that might be what they're playing.
Yeah. And of course, we're on the beautiful Garden map, very friendly Hammond map. So I'm definitely not surprised we see him come out. We got Cryptic on Winston, so we already know he's got his mind set on feeding. And Helium on Lucio. All right, so it's going to be Boop City. Everyone's going to lose their Overwatch brains in the first, few seconds of the game. But I'm glad not to see a Symmetra strat. I'm glad to see, almost actually a full dive commit on both teams. So not something you usually see, but Gardens is definitely one of the maps you would like to see it on.
Yeah, it's almost a full mirror on both sides. The only difference is the idea of Brigitte versus Lucio. Obviously, the Lucio is going to give that speed boost, allow you to take the early positioning, but if the Brig does win that first fight, they're obviously going to have that early space, and they're going to have the early advantage. So Oh, they're just gonna run out with a sim probably just to get
A little
the
extra speed.
Mm. So, yeah. One team, Ignis will be taking white room with the ball. That's gonna be, oh my goodness, brain fart. The other team, which is Exodus. Wow, early poop from Cactus. Helium off the drink, and again, Placebo poops. Vexer off. Sleeped onto Cryptic. That's not
Exodus coming huge with the boops tonight.
Yeah, Placebo finds 3 in the one fight. Early win, and they're going to be the whole cap right now.
And see, just as we were saying before, the difference between running the Lucio and Brig. Lucio's key value is his speed, where Brig has her own little protection and a stun. So, that's probably what gave them a bigger advantage. Plus, she can give the armor packs to Genji to allow him to sustain during fights and stuff. And we actually have a switch to Doomfist now on Ignis.
Yeah, I'm
Very
actually
interesting.
surprised.
Very interesting switch up to the Roadhog and Doomfist against a Brigida.
Yeah, I'm very confused about that. That's a huge anti. Hits 3, so they're going to be able to push into that a little bit. Poochie's going to take advantage. Danya is going to fall first. Fall just rolling in. Hog's going to be booped at a point, but he's going to find Placebo. Dragonblade comes out. Pretty fast building there. Annihilator's going to find Chad. Or Annihilate. Oh, so I read that. Cryptic's going to try and bring this back with a pick onto the Doomfist. Was probably going to be the one fight for Ignis. Great pick with the swaps, actually. Surprised the Roadhog works a lot well. They almost already got a whole hog. So they're just going to have to clean up this monkey. He's going to solve with the Primal Rage. Once that's done, Tracer's just going to touch. And then there's just going to be the... Genji going to come back into this, try and get a little bit more time here. They actually almost have a full regroup here, forcing the rally out as well. They really want to buy some time with this. Hammond's going to drop the mines too. They think they can win this, maybe? Oh, and they can, it turns out. Cactus and Poochie coming up clutch. Minefield fights the Doomfist. Even though that fight looked so good for Ignis, they just end up dropping the ball at the very end.
Yeah, what a huge play by Poochie, waiting for Cryptic's, Rage Monkey to come out and kind of contest it. That was kind of like a Philadelphia Fusion, a stall tactic, where you just rotate the people on and off, which allowed the team to come back. Chad had a huge sleep on Annihilator, which, got rid of a big majority of Ignis's damage, so kept them in the fight and kept them on the point.
Crucially, the whole hub. They didn't even that, so they're going to be coming in here with a big ult disadvantage. The Reaper being played as well. Aggressive sound barrier going to be used to just try and push in here. Winston gets isolated, but he's going to get up before he can focus fire. Doomfist somewhat isolated. Overtime clicks over. Placebo finds the first pick. That's a Dragonblade getting a lot of value with the nano boost applied to it. Coalescence comes out trying to salvage this for Ignis. Ember finds Cryptic, and Danya will try to bring this back, and they're going to actually find this, make it even. The pin goes onto point, doesn't really find much. Pulls bomb onto the Reinhardt. That'll finish him off. Poochie doing a lot of work. The DPS just popping off right now. Now the Doomfist will be coming back with the Meteor Strike. Damage Orb out from the Moira doesn't really do a whole lot. Seismic Slam following the Meteor Strike will be able to just give him that extra shielding that he needs. Cactus falls, so that's a huge amount of stall out of the fight, and an ultimate. Panda will find Annihilator, though. So that looks like it's still going to be Ignis losing this first round. Panda Games just unstoppable right now on the Genji. Already almost back to another Dragonblade. Earthshatter finds 3, though. No picks, but they will be able to fall for a little bit longer. Anthony out of the Ember. No heals for the Reinhardt. Minefield dropped onto point. They're just running in and most likely going to find nothing. Danya gets booped off, and that's the first round.
What an amazing dive by Exodus. Great rotations on and off the point, just keeping the stall going, keeping their team able to, compete and contest the fight. Even when it looked like they were down, were able just to swap off and, never once lost the point. They 0-100 that first map, which is a huge win for Exodus. And unfortunately, Dan, I saw the teleport. I hate that for you, buddy. I've had that happen plenty of times where the plane of teleport with Reaper just changes and it got him caught.
Oh.
But big plays by Placebo.
Yeah, great plays there. So now they're going to be both coming in here with the Reinhardt and Zarya pick. Danya's going to go onto the Symmetra just for a little bit of extra speed, though. So they're going to have a slight advantage here. May pick just from Exodus here. Panda going to try and find some value with these walls. Poochie already finds a pick, and so will Panda. Great right click onto Aerial. They're going to be able to play aggressive, especially with this wall. Bringing the Reaper just into the corner. He's going to fall. Lucio's the only one left, and that's going to be an early fight. So early that they won't even tap yet.
Yeah, great first picks by both DPS on Exodus, and Placebo with a great boot, getting Helium into his backline and, just being able to get the cleanup damage on him. So just, a sure fight win for them.
Yeah, and Chad Crush already almost at this coalescence. There's going to be some aggression coming in, but the wall's going to split them up a little bit. Ember has no idea what's going on. Cryptic cleans him up despite being with a feeder. He is freeze onto Zarya. Personal bubble just going to delay their life. Panda Games just burning the Zarya down, and that's another quick fight.
Yeah, on particularly this map on Lijiang, the Mei is a huge win advantage versus the Reaper Doom. Unless they're going to do a split, I think this is going to be an easy first map set for Exodus.
There has
wall-offs.
to be some counterplay, but another big wall. Don't be broken in time. Never mind, it won't. The tanks find the first kills. Cactus going to just shred them ribbons. Now it's just the Zarya off the flank gets pinned a long distance. With that one, team kill in 3 fights, but only 44%.
Yeah, like I said, that Mei wall is going to be a huge control, especially through that one tight little choke. I wouldn't be surprised if Ignis decided to go maybe top and try to get them to swing around and, just swing straight to point, so that way it's more open field and the Mei wall doesn't get as much value as it can.
They're rotating, but the instant rotate back. No wall to distract them, but they're going to block their own shatter. You hate to see it. Annihilator will find the first pick onto Sibo. Cactus evens it out on Danya. That's Cryptic almost completely alone, but he's going to get the pin onto Ariel, and he's going to be off the map. But unless an Ember can clutch this out, he cannot. And there's just one more fight if you're at Ignis. Ugh.
One more fight if you're Ignis, yeah. Honestly, I think, Ignis's best bet would probably just a mirror match the Mei. You could wall off the side, allow the Exodus wall not to be as effective and try to get through. But I think that non-change is going to cost them here on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. The early Graviton Surge comes out for Cactus. They're not even going to be touch this. 98%, 99%. The Genji gets onto point, though, at the very last second. Vexer holds them back just so that the touch can happen. Ana completely alone gets shoved into the wall by Cryptic. Flashbang finishes off Helium. And that's a dominant map 1.
Yeah, both Garden and, of course, Control Center. 0 to 100 by Exodus. What beautiful plays. Good rotation on their ults. I don't know if you realize this, but each fight, they only used one ult as soon as the Mei wall came up. Minus the Blizzard Shattered that messed up, but, they were able to recover from it. So, kudos to them for Exodus. I think, this probably map set's not the best for Ignis, and I think just that whole, like I said, Mei difference is really what gave Exodus the advantage.
Absolutely. And honestly, I think that the poo-poo might be a little bit stronger than the Atlanta Rain icons here, if you ask me. I think that might have also been a factor.
You'll be missed, Dogman. But oh wait, no, he's still in. Anyways, yeah, I'm a Philly fan, so for me, anytime Atlanta loses, I'm always excited. But I love the matching icons, and I love the creativeness with the icons to create words. So we got an assault next. 2CP. Everyone's favorite maps are coming up. I'm kind of curious to see what we'll see DPS wise. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sim strats. Maybe someone bees dirty and brings out the Bastion for some stall tactics. What do you think we'll see on the 2CP? Think we'll see some dive?
Because it's Volskaya, I was actually gonna say Symmetra, unless it's Volskaya, in which case I'm expecting Widow. And now that it's on Volskaya, I think there's one say the Widowmaker.
I wouldn't, disagree. I would love to see some Widowmaker. I'm a Widow Genji player. So I'm always down to see some Widow. But I think maybe Ashe Mercy might come out, or at least Ashe, just because in the double shield meta right now, she'd be more effective. And Volskaya is huge for Sigma Risk on defense. And if you're running on offense, the Sigma Risk is fine, but you can run Zarya Rhine probably a little bit easier, or even a Sigma Rhine. So that's probably what we're going to see from the tanks, and even dives valuable on both points as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing just the tank lineups in general. We're definitely going to see some Brig here. I doubt we'll see any Lucio this round. Hopefully we may see some more Nano Blades come out. And, Moira was pretty strong on the last map, and she's usually just a straight up, raw healer, so it's never a bad choice to pick her.
Yeah, completely agree. Like you said, I expect to see Moira, expect to see Ryan, expect to see Sigma with him more so than Zarya because that is generally just a little bit better. But Zarya is definitely good as well. But honestly, I'm already satisfied. I asked for Ryan and I received.
And I love seeing the dive, and both teams brought out dive. Exodus had some very well executed rotations on the point. I honestly think if it wasn't for that, Ignis would have easily captured Garden, and it probably would have been a lot closer, 99 to 100. But just because of those beautiful rotations we saw from Exodus, it was clear that they kept control of the game. So
yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna have to see if they can bring it back on the second map, which, like we said earlier, is Volskaya. And they're going to be picking Winston in the spawn on defense.
Interesting. Once again, Cryptic. Always known to play the feeding characters. And like I said, Volskaya is a great map to run dive. Especially if you run the Winston Zarya, you can still get some value out of it. We're going to see some Doomfist again. But this time we're going to have Xindri.
Xindri, I'm going to guess.
Xindri played the Doomfist, so that's going to be nice. And we're going to see some Baptiste too, which is actually the first time we will see him tonight.
Normally, he is a very powerful hero, and I didn't even notice it the first time. Like, I'm always so used to seeing Baptiste being played, seeing the Moira instead kind of made me forget about his existence for a second, but I'm kind of surprised to see the Zarya on the defense out of everything here.
This is a very interesting start for Exodus, running a dive defense, but because of all the high ground that First Point allows, it's not a bad choice, like I've said before. And the Sigma Orisa, like I said, is, just it helps you push through, and poke's always a good, go-to against dive. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm very scared to see if Cactus is going to be isolated here, and if he is, they're going to have to be able to peel for him effectively. But we're going to have to see if Ignis will have the focus fire to do that. Going to be rolling out, like you said, on the double shield. Zap, zap, zap for Cryptic. Keeping out before any damage can be done to him. Going into this room here. Kind of bottlenecking themselves, but they will be getting the high ground eventually. Just kind of zooming on through. Cryptic will be up there to meet him, though. So that's going to be the Orisa. First one to poke her head out. Shield to be down. Punch. Just bring the Doomfist, bring out the Doomfist. Get the Winston back onto that sort of low ground area. Just kind of trying to get this high ground under their control right now. That's a huge sleep onto the Orisa on the low ground. They're going to be able to capitalize with a high ground dive. Beautiful execution. It works out, but it's not going to be able to do much for very long as the cleanup will commence. So Danya is going to find Cryptic, though. Peter himself. Oh, spike, but doesn't matter if the Peter goes down. If Panda just.
That's right there.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Panda, that was a beautiful play with the dash resets. But honestly, I'm going to have to give that whole thing started with Poochie, very patient, waited for them to be distracted, and just had a nice cleanup kill on one of the healers, which gave them the win fight, and then the huge sleep on the Ember. You lose the ability to move the shield, one of the shields, and the whole double shield rotation just gets all whacked.
Sure, I would think they probably kept onto the high ground, maybe. Just try and hold the position, poke them out, but that's an early grab! Only a minute and a half and he has it charged. They're going to dive in deep. Immortality Field's going to be there to save the Baptiste, though, but not for very long as Panda gets the dash up to him and finishes off the kill. Pulse Bomb was used, though. They're going to have one less ult, and the Primal Rage at the very end just leads up Danya.
That was a huge flex by Cryptic, just throwing the Primal Rage, taking out the Reaper. Granted, he did have Panda Gamers help with the damage, but, it's always nice being a Winston flexing on your straight counterpart. And honestly, just losing that ult is not a huge loss for Exodus, All it really is used for normally is just keeping up the Winston alive, so...
Yeah, absolutely, and with how much he's charged the Primal, and 1 minute 40 left, this has been 2 fights, and they're already down almost 2 minutes, so they're going to have to make this work. Window out, we'll be able to get a lot of damage in, but a good rotation from...
Exodus.
Sorry, my bad. Russ. So they're going to be able to hold into the Soul Guard. Aggressive native boost onto the Winston. Expected to see the Nano Blade. He's going to get focused out a lot. Death Blossom used exclusively for him. They're going to eventually find the feeder. Cactus does find Danya, though. So defense completely lost. The Doomfist tries to go in onto the Brigitte. He's going to drop low. Placebo finishes them up with a whip shot. This is potentially winnable for them. The Pulse Bomb and Flux are out. Flux looking like he's going to get a little bit more value as Chad drops low health, but the rally is going to be there to keep him alive. Now they're just bottlenecked into this low ground, and another Graviton Surge! 4 people in it! They have to use the Immortality Field just to stay alive for a little bit longer. Completely nullifies the ultimate, though. Cryptic with the Primal Rage available. He's going to try and find the opportunity to use it. Another window from Ariel, farmed up so fast. Danya's going to find Chad. That looks like it's going to be only a pick, unless Zendry can find one. Cryptic Sleep will find Helium, so both Briggs are bludgeoned to death. It's going to be the defense. Eventually, though, they'll win it out.
What a huge hold by Exodus. Never once gave up the fight. Did perfect rotations. In all honesty, the Nano Winston in a tight room like that was probably a better option for them. Genji, if you get the MO out and you know that Brigitte has Rally, it's better just to go ahead and just nano someone else and try to force those 2 abilities out, which allowed Panda Gamers to actually get more value off his blade. And, you know, losing Cryptic, like I said, is not a huge, downfall for him. So.
What a sleep right off the bat. Vexer's going to be taking a quick nap. Adania's going to find Placebo with a Pulse Bomb, trying to bring this back. Another Pulse Bomb used, but it's not going to find as much value. Then end up again onto Cryptic. He's going to be trying to get some eliminations here and farm up this Primal Rage. Panda with the Dragonflame available. He's going to pop it. Finds the Tracer. Gets that second elimination of fight for him. Cactus finds Helium, and that's going to be it. Torn to ribbons here will be in.
Yeah, Exodus has just been showing absolute dominance with the dive comps tonight. Cryptic, huge plays with Winston, allowing to create space, showing that Winston is a main tank. And Panda Gamers was just some beautiful artistry on the Genji. I haven't seen clean Genji other than, watching Necros or Shatter 2K on that. So kudos to him for that. Poochie with just great flanks on the Tracer. Placebo just, keeping Chad alive. And Chad, my man, what wonderful nades you have had tonight. You honestly kept a 3v6 more winnable than I have ever seen Ana do. So awesome job. So we're going to see the same comp come out from Exodus. And to be honest with you, like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if, Ignis decided to run a McCree. Yep, good. They're going to start running the counter dive, which is a good call by them. Yep,
I think this is the first time they've even touched Brigitte in the map. So that's a great sign of adaptation against this dive that they're just spamming. And like you said, yeah, they're basically going with the if it ain't broke, don't fix it logic. Oh, never mind. Now they go on to the double.
Yeah, now they switch to the double shield, which they were strong in that as well. So it's just going to be probably a more clean fight than the dive is. But it's going to be nice to see the rotations from both teams because it's a very poke comp, and when it comes to poke comp, it's all about the rotations more than it is about getting the picks.
Yeah, this does kind of feel like the comp of yesteryear, though. The Genji and Brigitte instead of the Zenyatta and with the Tracer or Echo, I mean. So we're gonna have to see how well this works out. End up taking the high ground here, just getting in with his 1v1. Waiting for the shield to come out. The Hulk comes out. The shield comes out as well. But going to block the rock. Now they're just kind of win the poke battle. Pull comes out on both sides. The Genji's in the fray. Not going to do a whole lot, though. Just going to put some point pressure down. They're going to have to drop. Great force drop here for Ignis. Or here for Exodus. Sorry. Great pull onto 3. Dynamite comes in. 3 are burning. They're going to have to heal this up over time. Panda Games charging up this Dragon Blade. Even if they don't win this fight, he's going to have it very soon. Great pull! Donnie is isolated, and the window comes out early from Ariel. Panda Games finds his counters, quote-unquote, as Ariel is going to be the only one getting a pick here on the defense so far, and they're just not going to be able to touch. Dominant Volskaya performance.
Yeah, Exodus did a great job, like I said, with when it comes to poke, it's rotations. And when you're running a Sigma Ashe, you want to take the off angles against another double shield, which Cactus and Poochie did so very great, which, doing that also enables the Genji, giving the Genji the armor packs, keeps them alive, and, I mean, it's just c'est la vie, just over with. So, huge plays by Exodus right there, just, asserting their dominance early in the season. I hope everyone who's watching tonight and is in the Discord tier are taking notes. Exodus is probably, I want to say, one of the top 3 dive teams in Discord right now. Just from watching this. And it's just the beginning of the season. So, it's a little check mark for you guys to start working on your dive and, try to prove you're better than Cryptic.
Always good to see a dominant dive.
That's right. And they are the returning champions, too, under a new name, of course. But it's always great seeing champions come in and just show a very wonderful first match. I couldn't ask for more from them, you know. And I used to play with Cryptic back in season 3 on Eclipse, so he's a great guy to play with, very lovable, and he just that's who he plays with. You know, if you ever play with Cryptic or any of these guys, it's always fun. And actually, I was playing with Modify once in comp, and we ran into them on their Smurfs. So I can tell you what you saw tonight, or what you've seen so far tonight, is how they play all the time. So. But that
Loving
was map 2, so we should be coming up close to the halftime.
Yeah, I was about to say great first round or first half. So hopefully the level of play won't drop for after the break.
Yep. And we haven't seen all of Ignis play yet, so hopefully the switches may be the switches they need to maybe cause a reverse sweep. I would love it tonight if we can at least get to map 5. But right now, if Exodus just keeps it on the gas pedal and just asserts their dominance with a dive, or even with the double shield, it's going to be a clean sweep for Exodus. So it's going to be really nice to see what transpires after halftime. So, anyways, we're going to be shooting to halftime now. Everyone just stick around, and can't wait to see you when you get back from the half.
I'm NPC, the Tranquility Hammer. Have you lost Overwatch games due to smurfs, levers, or throwers? Have you been on the same team as Bard? You may be entitled to compensation.
I used to be in silver. Thanks to NPC and the Overwatch Tranquility community gear, I'm now a gold Moira player, spawn camping Ice, the Season 3 Discord tier MVP. Thanks, NPC!
Go to my website right now and let me fight for discounts for you. Go to owtranquility.org and click store, or go to shop.spreadshirt.com/owtranquility.
I've asked to remain anonymous for my safety, but I'm an admin in an Overwatch community. It can be exhausting work. But these shirts, they're so cheap, I have shirts to burn. And now thanks to NPC, I can own the Zoomers, and I can do it in style.
I'm going to hammer down prices of Tranquility merchandise this week. Up to 15%. If you place your order on July 29th or July 30th, you'll get 15% off your entire order. Go to my website now to get the SR and the Tranquility gear that you deserve. Tranquility merchandise does not guarantee victories in Overwatch or increase in skill rating. 15% off, valid on orders placed on July 29th and 30th at Spreadshirt.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Overwatch Tranquility. I am Ty, and Gizmo is here with me. How you doing? After that half?
I got some water, and I can't wait to keep watching this. I'm sure Exodus is going to run some more dive. They've been dominant with it all night. I can't wait to see what Exodus or what Ignis does with its changes in the roster. So we'll see what they can do DPS wise. We'll see what they can do support and tank.
Yeah, I mean, Kings famously isn't the best map for the dive, but on the other hand, if it's working this well, might as well keep running, right?
Well, I'm gonna hold you. Here's what I think is gonna happen. I think Exodus is gonna run the dive first point on attack because first point is a great place because of the rotations you can do with the high ground. So dive is valuable on first point. Second point, it can lose some of its value. But I feel like once they've captured the point, they'll have the time to go switch to maybe a Reinhardt Zarya or a Ryan Sigma. I highly doubt we'll see Orisa on attack. But, as far as that goes, they've been showing absolute bliss with their dive. So I know they're going to continue it. If it's, not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I mean, Pharmacy has always been very good on the second point of this map. So that's definitely something they could be doing here. But at the same time, though, if they do run it on, if they run the dive on the first, and then they try to go with a Pharmacy with it too, in order to plan for second point, I'm not sure how well that'll work. And
like I said, depending on how well you dove and how well the spread of the spawns are, you'll have time because the other teams won't have to wait for them to group back up. But if you just completely wipe the whole team, you're just going to have to stick with the dive until probably the next fight. But King's Row, also one of my favorite maps because it is a Widow Central, and we do see Ignis with the Widow out right now. So I'm hoping, especially since they're not going up against a double shield and, you know, everyone hiding behind the corners on first point, you never know what you're going to run into. It's always nice to try to play that early pick and see where it happens.
Yeah, I'm more so looking at the potential of Reinhardt Winston, which is... Okay, never mind. He was just doing for the scouting. But still, though, this is going to be a standard defense and a Doomfist on attack. Okay, curious.
No. And it's very curious just to see the Doomfist still being played, knowing that there's been a Brigitte ran all night long, which, you know, kind of demotes the value unless, you know, you give him the bubbles.
Oh, Cryptic takes a lot of early damage there. He's barely going to survive. Placebo's going to be the first pick. Vexor's going to find Cryptic, who has been so low for so long. They're going to just cleave on through an early first attack. Great play there from Ignis.
Well, you know what? Ignis said, we'll make the Doomfist work even with Brigitte. So, kudos to them for that. But I was trying to say before, you know, Doomfist right now in the current meta, if you're not running a Brigitte and you're not running a Zarya, it's hard to enable him correctly. But clearly Ignis knows how to do it. So, we're just one of the heroes.
Yeah, Exodus does get the first pick, though, with the Lucio finding the Zarya. Not something you see every day, but wow, what a wall! Isolates Ember. Chad finishes off that kill, and this may be a potential for spawn camping here.
What a huge wall from Panic Gamers. You know, that's another thing that Exodus has looked great on tonight is the Mei, which, once again, you know, sometimes you're going to have to mirror match. Now, King's Row is not a map where you have to mirror match the Mei, but you're going to have to find a way to get rid of her.
Yeah, the Shadow's going to be blocked from Ember. Cryptic throws his out, and it doesn't find much value either. He's going to start going in, but the pin, great play from Ember. Gets that stun up, and both teams will be down in DPS. Both will be losing their hit scan early. That's a big grab, finds 3 into it. But that's going to be some great defensive play until both Ryans will fall. Zendry with a great Doomfist play to find the Reinhardt. Blizzard's out, trying to find a good Meteor Strike. Lance is just kind of in the middle of everybody. Goes in with the Seismic Slam. Doesn't really find much with it. And another grab! This time it's going to be not finding much, just the Zarya. But that'll be a guaranteed pick from Vexor as they start to push forward on this payload.
No, huge value from both Zaryas on their grabs, finding 2+ men. Unfortunately, though, Cryptic, being his charge heart self, was able to find a pick, but also, you know, took himself out of the fight, which you then had both main tanks, you know, taken away. That can truly just be, you know, a definitive blow, because if all you have is Zarya protection, especially against a Doomfist, I'm going to give it to the Doomfist every time.
Yeah, great offensive sound barrier uses. The High Noon will be there as well. Defensive sound barrier this time from Helium. Both support out of both support ultimates out. Ember will find Cryptic. They're just going to be able to run them over at this point as Vexor finds Placebo. Flashbang does stun up 2 and a huge anti onto 5, but a couple will be able to cleanse themselves, and not much more will be found from that. Cactus finds Zendra, but 5 minutes on third.
Yeah, honestly, if Exodus is going to continue running Ana, I know they have the Nano, but I suggest that, you know, if I was them, especially going up against a Zarya right now, and the fact that you're also going up against Lucio, your anti-nades aren't going to be as valuable because you can get rid of it. And a Reaper can Wraith out of form and lose his anti-ness, so you're going to be able to really pay attention to the abilities being used to get the full effectiveness of it.
Shatter will drop, not finding much. Cryptic will be allowed to feed for a little bit as the aggressive pin from Ember. Oh, he's almost going to focus down. Vexor's going to have the grab. He's going to drop it. Zendry's going to find the first pick. Death Blossom grab, not the most common of combos. Base Jam will end up being used. Ace almost aces it. 4 minutes and they're pushing on through.
What a huge play by Ignis. Unfortunately, though, it puts him down on the ult economy, but when you're right there at the door, you might as well try to just get a team wipe and get a clean fight.
Shatter drops 2 onto the ground. Pulse Bomb as well, but Immortality will be there as Ace and Cryptic will trade out kills here. Zarya is going to fall. Again, they're just trading out kills very evenly, but Cactus is going to find the one that sticks. As the Shatter drops, both days will be downed by Ember. They're going to try and bring this back, but it's just 2 on the attack, 2 on the defense. Just the Tracer left as the Reaper and the Tracer 1v1, but barely Poochie comes back. And that'll be the defense held.
Yeah, the Doomfist on Ignis was able to find both support and give them the win conditions they needed, but that Tracer just kept them in the game. So awesome job on Exodus side, just being able to stall right there at the end. And with the spawn advantage, it's very important to play those kind of stall characters that can allow you to do so.
Yeah, and the double shield, well, Cryptic and Cactus on those two heroes. Panda gonna try and combo this Pulse Bomb with a Halt. Maybe that's a Doomfist going in it aggressively. Pull out, doesn't have a Pulse Bomb with it. That's just gonna be dropping on the ground. Doesn't find much value as the rally comes out from the attack, or defense, sorry. But it's not gonna do a whole lot as 3 will fall from the insane aggression there. The Brig will be booped off the map just by a hammer swing. 255 the time pick.
Oh my.
Insane push from Ignis.
Ember just swiping the boot kills from his Doomfist right there. Oh. You love to see it as a tank player, but you hate to see it as a DPS player now that they've added that nice little extra push on the Rhine swing. So you get those every now and then, and you just look at yourself like, hey, you know what? I did my job. It was my kill. What a great effectiveness with the Doomfist, especially into a Brigida, and when the BAP. The slam at the end may have not found a kill, but it forced the ammo out. It put everyone at a one tap kind of thing, and I think we may have had a DC here because right now we have a pause going on. So what was the most things you saw from Ignis that looked like they changed that gave them the advantage on King's Row, whereas in the past 2 maps they were just getting absolutely dominated and rolled by Exodus?
I think that they're just playing more aggressive and less scared. Ember looked scared to go up against Cryptic in the 1v1, but now he's just pinning in, he's making the space, he's going deep, and he's not being stopped. I think that's one of the most critical things right now. He's just has so much aggression now behind him, and I think that if they keep this up, there's the reverse sweep possible.
Yeah. Huge plays by Ignis. Good switch ups. Running the Doomfist and being able to enable him with just the Zarya was definitely a game changer for them on their attack. We're going to see the Doomfist come back out again, and you know what? I don't blame him for the way he's playing. And King's Row is probably one of the most valuable maps that Doomfist can get with just little support behind him. We're going to see a Poochie on the Widow, and hopefully she sticks on the Widow, try to see how well she can go up against Ace's Ashe. And Ace without the Mercy is put at a disadvantage because 1-tap versus 2-tap. I'm going to go with the Widow every time.
He's going to be immediately switching off. I'm guessing that was just for some scouting. But you have to be thinking a little bit. Do the Ashe and the Doomfist kind of counter-synergize? They need one support who can finish, or one DPS who can kind of finish off the other's kills. And
yeah, the Doomfist Ashe, oh, what a great pick by Poochie. But the Doomfist Ashe is just like running a Tracer with the Ashe or a Genji with the Ashe. You have someone who's taking up all the abilities, and, pushing people around. The shields can't give the protection they need to give.
Poochie is unstoppable right now. Gets the first 2 eliminations. Sibo won't be outclassed with 3 of his own, 2 being whip shots. Showing off how powerful that hero can be.
Yeah. Beautiful play, beautiful start for Exodus. I think they woke up from halftime finally, because now it looks like they put their foot back on the gas. Honestly, if Poochie keeps popping off the Ashe, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a switch to Genji.
Yeah, very likely. Especially since Zendry, look at his ult charge. Didn't get much on that first fight. They're going to have to re-engage here with a decent bit of an ult disadvantage on the DPS side. It's going to be the Halt bringing people together. That's a big pulse bomb! 2 in the grave! Panda with the clutch pick. Zendry's going to try and bring it back with the pick up the main tank, though. This is potentially winnable if they can find Panda here. Going in very aggressive. The Doomfist tries to 1v1 him, but Panda just unwavering in his aggression. Like I said, aggro's the name of the game.
What a huge combo with the pulse pull. Not to mention, I do believe a rally was about to come out there. And just getting that ult off and getting rid of it quickly, I just sustained the fight for Exodus very well.
Offensive switch onto the Baptiste. Not sure that's the one I was looking for, but it could definitely help out a little bit with the Immortality field, especially against this Flux that's coming out right now. 2 in the air. They're going to be able to use that Immortality just to save the Sigma. They're going to try and win this defense, but the bomb and Bonga window, everything thrown into this. As Zendry tries to find some value, but everybody's dead.
Placebo, the Ivory Master. By the way, if no one understands that reference, I'm talking about Ivy from Soul Calibur with her little chain whip sword, because all of Placebo's finishing blows have been with chain whip so far tonight.
Such a strong, so strong good range, damage, fast, cooldown. Such a good.
We got another halt pulse bomb, and with Baptiste down, there's no immortality to stop it from being effective.
You don't even need the pulse. He could just get one pick on his own. That's gonna be the Rally coming out on the attack, trying to stop them in the doors. The Sigma's gonna be the only one to touch. Panda just tearing them to ribbons. Cactus is gonna punch Helium to death. The Bob almost on the ledge, easy pull, and that's gonna no! Oh, poor Zendry unluckies his way off the map, and an even grander time bank than the other one. 403.
The coordination right now between Cryptic and his Tracer with the pulse is amazing. I mean, you couldn't ask. I mean, you're talking about a Graviton Surge on cooldown, and to use it that effectively, especially against a double shield meta, big brain plays. And right now, the time just shows it. You got 4 minutes for Exodus and 2 minutes for Ignis. Both teams showing very strong attacks, but you know, Exodus just showing a better control of their ult economy and ult combinations.
A good attack deserves a better one, I guess. 403. That has to be intimidating.
It's maybe intimidating, but as everyone knows, when it comes to a hybrid map like this, the most important part is getting the payload out and then just the push. If you can get the payload out, you know you can do strategies to stall for time to kind of, you know, make the team that has more of a time period lose. So, especially on King's Row, that first choke after you unlock the payload is such a holdup if you switch to a right comp. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a May come out, you know, for that choke.
Yeah, I have to ask, why you think Zendry's so committed to the Doomfist here?
He's been watching too much Chipsa.
That's possible.
He found a way to the owl, and unfortunately, you're gonna have to flex a little more.
Sometimes you just can't one-trick a Nishiro and make it Overwatch League.
He also might be feeling he's not getting any other value with any other character. And
No.
I know I have those nights where it feels like Genji's the only thing I can play effectively, and I'm going up against a Widow Pharah.
My goodness, the aggression there from Ember. No focus fire onto him as he just walks into the defense. Exodus crumbles despite getting the first kill, and Ember with the aggression is a big reason why.
Yeah, huge plays, huge rotations by Ignis right there. You know, forcing them to drop down from the high ground, kiting out the extra damage they can get from the burn. Panda Gamers, though, trying to, you know, keep it alive, keep it close to a 6v5 once his team's able to come back and retest.
Yeah, not gonna be able to stall it out for very long if the pin goes onto Cryptic. Earthshatter drops, but a great block from Cactus gonna prevent it from getting any value. Immortality's out from Chad though, so they can be able to push aggressively into this. Shield drops, so now they're just gonna be poking a little bit, trying to find something.
Yeah, like I said before, you know, being able to capture the point with a little time, it doesn't matter if you're the team with 2 minutes or the team with 4 minutes. If you can be aggressive, that's going to be a huge advantage because you want it past that little choke underneath the bridge.
Yeah, that's the early window, just zoning them out. Not going to find a whole lot of damage amplification, though. And they're going to have to back up because the aggression's going to be coming in any second. And there he is. Ember, Fire Strike out, tries to get something done. There's a great flux, though. The both tanks are really alone there. That's going to be Vexer being the first pick, and with only 6 seconds left, they have to make this fight work. The Sound Barrier is going to drop early, trying to keep them alive. Panda Games finds Zendry, just always dead, it feels like, as the Blossom is the only thing they have left. He's going to drop it, trying to keep himself alive with it, but a great grasp prevents the lifesteal, prevents the health, and they did get under the bridge, but that's as far as it'll land.
Yeah, that window may have not seemed to get the value that you thought it would need, but being able to push back and allow their team and allow Exodus to regroup was probably what, you know, won them that last fight right there. Because if it wasn't for that little push, you probably would have lost Cryptic a little early. You might even lost a Cactus, both tanks down, and that would have been an easy second point for Ignis. So that was a good play by Chad right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just, no, don't mind me. I'm just kind of being the stupid play-by-play guy here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
As all play-by-plays are, none of us have brains.
Yeah, but Poochie, huge dynamites, which, you know, gave him the bob, getting that 7th man. Always a big advantage, especially against the double shield. Panda Games, always on the flank. And to be honest with you, probably need to pay a little more attention to Panda because that's all Panda's been playing tonight is the flank characters. He's been on the Genji, he's been on the Tracer mostly, and just being effectiveness, just doing a little poke damage, huge pull combos. Cryptic and Cactus also with a huge pull on both tanks with the pull lift. You couldn't ask for a better tank duo right now, I think, tonight.
Yeah, one thing that I think has to be mentioned is the fact that Tracer is such a good matchup to have against a Doomfist. And I think that's one of the main reasons they've been playing it, because Sentry's been shut down ever since the Tracer even came out.
And he finally decided to switch to Mei, and like I said, I think, stall tactics is what's going to help Ignis, have a chance of winning this map.
Oh no, Exodus knew, but despite the Ember drop so low, but he's going to be able to heal up just in time. Cactus barely surviving with the Immo. Panda on the backline already almost has a pulse bomb with a great first kill. Pucci's going to clean it up though. Moira completely isolated by his own Mei, and that's an early first fight.
Like I said, you got to have some kind of stun. You might want to switch to a McCree. The Mei's definitely a good choice. I don't think the Reaper was the greatest of calls. You probably could have switched him out for a McCree, just a little extra stun. And I'm actually shocked that Helium's not running the Brigitte right now, knowing that Panda's been on it.
Sentry with the flank on the Tracer actually manages to get the headshot from behind. That's the pick that they need in order to get back into the ace. Teleports up to the high ground. Great pin! The unrelenting aggression from Ember. Oh, I love to watch it. My favorite part of Reinhardt is unrelenting aggression. He is making me smile.
Huge. But right now, Panda, even though he got picked early, if he finds a good pulse right now and Cryptic sees a good pull, there's nothing stopping them because you don't have beat drop up. Coalescence won't be able to stop the damage from a direct stick, so it's looking pretty good for Exodus. And you've got Window coming up as well.
That's going to be Panda just like dueled a little bit, but that's a great Earth Shatter. 2 on the ground, not going to die quite yet. Flux out, Ember dies. Bull Tank's dead from a huge Gravitic Flux. They're just going to be able to push right on through here as the Bongo comes in. That's more damage amplified. Cactus with a 3rd kill of this fight. Rock onto the Lucio, doesn't even touch.
What a huge play by Cactus. Waiting for them to the aggressiveness, and honestly, that's what Flux is for. It is to attack the aggressiveness. It's supposed to stop it. It's supposed to deal the damage, and it did. Being able to find both tanks, giving them an easy win. So, Exodus, huge night so far. They've already won tonight, but we'll see if at least Ignis can pull out the 4th map. Yeah, it would be nice not to see a 4-0. I do hate seeing a complete shutouts, but Exodus just keeps playing the way they are. It's a guarantee.
I don't like to be negative, but it kind of feels to me like Ignis have been in some of these fights, not really with Zendry, but almost in spite of him, if that makes sense. Not to be like rude or anything, but you know what I mean? Because the Doomfist isn't doing a whole lot.
I think probably they either need to enable him or just make it clear that he needs to make a switch for sure. Because when they were enabling him, he was making it work. He was making the Doomfist a very huge threat. And I think that's one thing that's been their downfall tonight, where as far as Exodus has been good. You've had really good ult rotation with Exodus. You've had good combos. I think the comms are probably a little more clear on their side. And I think if Ignis can take tonight's whole matchup and just learn that those little things, they have had winnable fights all night long, but they just need to make sure that they communicate more. I feel like that's probably where it's going down, and then probably just some other choice too. And it's not just the DPS, like I said, Helium, they know they've been running a flanker. The Lucio is okay on certain maps, but if you're on defense and stuff, you should be running that Brigitte. And Panda's just been going to town on your backline because you don't have the protection. So Panda's been, really the one truly taking care of the weakness of Ignis, and he doesn't even need to be enabled as much. He's enabling Pucci, but at the same time, he has no real thing to stop him from being just a complete Defron in the back.
Yeah, I completely agree. Panda's just doing so much, almost completely uncontested right now. I think that they're committing very hard to the close-up brawl that is working in a way, but it's negative because of the fact that there's so much aggression, but there's no counter. There's nothing, like you said, to stop the Tracer. The Reaper's doing a good job at holding the front line, and I think that's what they're kind of focusing on, without quite realizing that the back line is getting torn up just a little bit too much.
You also got to look at who is, pulling away and pilling for the support. And from what I can tell, it was the DPS. And in a double shield with a Doomfist, that's not... The Doomfist is probably your second personal pull, but it really should be the Sigma turning around, negating some of the damage. And that's kind of costing too, because I think I've seen them. They've been trying to work on the pull combos, but if you got a Tracer in the back line, you really need to take your focus, because you have a Doomfist that can combine with the pulls. You're running an Ashe for some of the game. Dynamite pull is just such a huge combo, especially against double shield. There's other things that they could have done to help. And like I said, I think there's just probably a little miscommunication that's not going on there. They were throwing like 3 or 4 ults. We saw in the third point there at the end, they just decided to just ramp out almost all their ults, and then they had none for the recontest. And it lost them some time. They probably could have ended up with maybe 3, close to 4 minutes if they didn't, try to do the Space Jam on top of the Gravitic Flux, on top of, I believe they threw in the Moira ult as well, which, Moira ult, granted, can be brought back twice in a fight,
yeah.
No problem. But just the fact that they were using so many combos all at once, that's honest the truth why Exodus has been rolling so much harder, is because they have done such a well job of rotating ults and stuff. I think there's only been maybe 2 or 3 fights the entire night that Exodus committed probably 1 or too many ults, but it was 1 or too many ults that didn't cost them in the next fight. So that's the difference. But our last map is going to be on Rialto. I love this map.
Such a good map.
Pharmacy here. I would hope so. I think maybe Pharmacy might be the answer for Ignis right now, because you got a lot more coverage than you have in the past maps. Although, granted, Poochie on the Ashe, he hasn't had a Mercy Pocket all night, and he's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Huge dynamite values, just getting picks left and right. It's going to come down to probably a mirror match or just some kind of wild, maybe a flank torb. I'm always huge on the flank torb here. You can ask, just first point, walk around and throw that at a turret, catch them off guard. But, Rialto is one of those maps that I don't think there's any comp that's a bad comp for it because of the way it's designed. You can run the dive, you can run the brawl, you can run the poke, you can run ball hog torture.
Hog and ball torture, yeah.
Test it, but you can run it. So,
I mean, it might not win, but you can play it.
But I think at this point right now, Ignis should just look to have fun on this last map. Just take the notes, like I said, from tonight's VOD reviews, get with the coach, maybe, go over some rotation and ults, rotation and abilities. And I think once they do that, this match actually probably would be 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
So
I one of my favorite things, every single time I play Rialto, I force my team to play spawn camp. I love the defensive here. It's just so fun.
Plus, the way the spawns are set up, you can get multiple fights on every point, even if you spawn camp. So that's never a bad idea. And you're going to love this. First point is always, if you're going to run double shield and you're not filling the Orisa, it is okay to run that Reinhardt on first point. But once first point's captured, you're going to want to immediately switch off to the Orisa. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Cryptic, have a couple charges to Narnia on this map, because he doesn't like to take his finger off that shift, as we all know.
I mean, if it's fun, I don't judge. It's pretty fun to watch. That's here's my secret. The real reason why I like Reinhardt, because I'm an idiot too. I just press shift.
Trust me, I played PlayStation for the longest time, and that's all I did was, charge on cooldown. But I think this map for Exodus is just going to be a fun map since they've already won tonight. And I think this is just for Ignis. So let's go ahead and get on with Rialto.
I think we're still waiting for one of the players, because no, he's back. He just said some profanities, and I thought it was somebody else. But no, it's of course the Yada feeder himself. So
See, you can never take Cryptic too serious when he starts, throwing out some words because he never means it. So, we actually see Pucci coming out with a Widow, and I'm hoping he stays on it. We haven't seen any Widow at all, just except for the Scout, and immediately switches to the Ash.
Widow, one of my favorite maps of all time on Rialto actually came with involving a Widowmaker. It was Florida versus Valiant, and KSB was just clapping BQB while BQB was on Ash, and then KSB was on Widow, and the cast were saying like, BQB does have a Widow, so we're gonna have to wait to see if he pulls it out. Then he pulls out the Widow and just domes KSB the rest of the map. It's so fun to watch. Because I love to think about KSB used to be, in my opinion, he was the worst DPS player of Season 3, and then just showed up that hard.
Yeah,
it was the moment where it clicked in my head.
His time training in the off season, which a lot of them have. Just seeing like how far Owls come and how far just Tranquilities come. As far as place, but I was really hoping we were going to see the Pharmacy, but we switched over to the May Reaper with the Moira.
Just teasing us like that, really? Oh.
And once again, I mean, now we're on a straight payload map, so running Lucio is not as terrible, especially with it being Rialto. But I think it might be better value if Helium, decides to switch to Brigida, or if they want to keep the Lucio up, run Dogs, run Brig Lucio. I think they can get away with it.
Maybe. I mean, it's very risky, but it's definitely possible. Great Immort to save Cactus just for a little bit. A huge Fire Strike! Ember cleaving on through. They're playing the right ball. Annihilator gets 3! What a beautiful fight! Oh!
We were so busy worrying about the DPS, we didn't even notice that they had a ball rolling in the background.
Have I mentioned that I love him?
You tricky dog, you.
Even though Annihilator got 3, though, he only gonna have 45% hold. That's definitely worth it.
Very. And, like I said, tonight, popping an early Ko. But like I said, Ko's a throw ult. You can just throw it whenever.
So much aggression here. Chad finds Helium just kind of sitting in his back line. But that's going to be the cap without the contestant. Oh, what a shatter! 5 players drop to the ground. Ace finds Cryptic, and they're just gonna clean up after that. And no, Pucci, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He landed on the boat by mistake. It's a great thing about Rialto. But hey, you know what? That's actually good, because I think if he didn't land on the boat, Ember would have got credit for a boot. So, honestly, probably a little bit luck. But now that was 2 ults coming out. And right now, all we have is Blizzard and Minefield, so 2, solitary ults that can create space. But you've got Bob, Window, Gravitic Flux. The ult economy is looking just a little bit better, but it's going to be even once the fight engages.
Yeah, the early Mine's proactive. Exactly what he wants. 2 picks immediately, but Cactus will not be dismayed. Finds 3 early on. Golessence tries to beam him down. He's going to try and just dominate here. Annihilator finds Cryptic though, so that's gonna be even up on the fight. They cannot back up right now through this minefield. They're gonna start to fade, however, as that's just gonna be the roll on through from Vexer, trying to get somebody isolated. He's gonna be on point alone though. He's gonna have to get out.
Yeah, like I said, more ult. Jaqua had used it to fight before, had it for that fight, but I mean, Cactus just with a huge 3K, changing the fight around, and the reality is Placebo's rally came up before Helium's beat drop and sustained them.
What a good stagger there from Panda. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Also, what you said.
So I honestly, if I was Helium right now, like I said, I would switch to Brigida. And Pucci just, picking off. Now they're having to wait on both supports on Ignis' side.
What happened to Jokwa?
I think he just got 2-tapped by a BAP and Pucci.
That would make sense. Of Vexer, 20 HP right now for the Hammond. If anybody comes to get him, he's gone. Annihilator though, long range snipe onto the Tracer, gets rid of it, but Cryptic will find Vexer before they get any healing done. Or healing onto him, I should say. Ember with the Shatter Drop, finds 3! Players down. This is not something you see very often. He's done it twice against Double Shield. And the Blossom in the back finds 3! 4K for Ace! Oh, what a beautiful play. The Cactus still on the point. Gets Helium.
No. an aggressive beat drop just to make sure that Ember could, kind of follow up on his shatter. But luckily, Ace with the Death Blossom was able to do that as well. So it might have been a little too many ults committed by Ignis. But you know what? Right now, they want as much time on that clock as possible.
Yeah, that's a pulse bomb drop immediately doesn't thing really. Colas looks to be out, and that's Cryptic falling. Ace will find Panda Games off on the side. Flux brings him up and brings him back down, but doesn't really do much outside of the little burst of damage. They're going to be able to stabilize and stay alive. Cap comes through. They're going to be pushing on through to third on Rialto, but this is very similar to what happened on Kings, I gotta mention.
Yeah, very similar. Like I said, the old economy for Ignis is just... It's a little atrocious because luckily they were able to sustain through that fight, but I think the beat drop from Helium would have been a lot more valuable as far as, going up against a Sigma ult versus trying to keep Orion alive, making sure he gets the kills.
I think my 3 favorite heroes, oh my goodness, I was going to say something, but that has to be talked about first. Beautiful Dynamite, 3 dead immediately thanks to it. But as I was going to say, I think my 3 favorite heroes to watch are in the lobby right now. Reinhardt, Hammond, and Junkrat.
Yeah, I always love seeing some Jay Silly in the game. We got to see it in the preseason tournament with, PDK Kid, who is one of the J-Rat Kings. So it's always nice to see someone other than him on it. And Panda Gamers just playing flank characters, and this is the first character that it probably gets the same amount of value of flanking as he does just poking.
Yeah, I think that Jake is just sitting somewhere smiling. He doesn't know why, but he is. Shatter is at the ready for Ember, and he's going to drop it. Placebo will fall, but not much else will be done. Ace finds Poochie off on the side. Both DPS are extremely low for Ignis right now. But, ooh, that's going to be one of them destroyed. Cactus finds the pick. Aggressive play here from Ace. Tries to get the Orisa, but Flux is out for Cactus. Rings up so many players, I couldn't even count it. Finds the finishing blow onto the Hammond, but a massive blossom. Finds 2. He gets a 3rd. Why not? Cactus 2. Why? Just keep killing them all, I guess. Ace. Poochie, though. Helium dead. Bob out. Dokwa is going to find the damage orb kill. Skill orb. Death will be Pooch. Fire strike. Yeah, the break, sorry. As the pull brings 2 people together, not going to do a whole lot outside of it. Cactus and Vexer, both teams will have the Hammond. Great sound barrier, brings all to have some good HP, but it's a tire coming out. Gonna find it. Massive tire! 3 people destroyed at a bit of a waste of bongo, but at that point, oh, what a tire.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes that bongo is just okay to throw out because you need to conserve the witch, especially on Rialto 3rd point. That's one of the hardest points in the game to capture. So just being able to stop them on a push that, honestly, if that tire didn't get anybody, would have been Ignis's fight. So I'm not surprised that Cryptic had a little scare.
Sometimes it's not about winning, about sending a message, but look at the ult economy. Like you said, it's been so good here from Exodus the whole time, but for once, it's actually in Ignis's favor with the Coalescence and Blizzard being at the ready. We're going to be pushing in here.
Out from Placebo.
Yep. Yeah, they're all going to be armored up. So much HP here from Exodus. As the pull comes and breaks 4 of them together, Rock doesn't do much with it. The Bob will. Dynamite only finds the Reinhardt, though. They're going to just wait this out as Robert's large Omnic Butler sitting there, not really doing a whole lot. Pull brings Ace, and that's going to be the pick that they need for this defense. They're going to be able to play aggressive now as they push forward. Ember, though, great wall from Annihilator, but the Junkrat just shreds it. Ember tries to do something, but not a whole lot will be done. In 26 seconds left, they have one more fight.
Yeah. Huge play just getting the Reaper out of the way. The biggest damage dealer for Ignis right there. And Vexer trying to get some value on the Hog, but just going up against all that damage, you just might as well put Cryptic over his name.
I think, to me, it feels like Ignis, they're trying to make me happy with the Reinhardt, the Ball, and the Roadhog, but it's not going to be doing a whole lot. As the tire finds Helium, the only person who can get close to touching, and the trap is what kills Vexer. Just piling it on.
What a great push, but like I said, that last point on Rialto is one of the hardest to capture just because of the spawn time. And if you have a character like Junkrat who has Riptide already, like we saw, a one fight immediately changes. And that's not just on this map, that's on any map, but specifically, those last bit of payload maps, there's a reason why it's such a grind to get that last spot. It's because of the spawns. And it just played out for Exodus on this map. But let's see if Ignis can get the willpower to really force some really good defense. I'm hoping they at least get 2 or 3 fights on first point. And they'll probably get 2 or 3 just because of the way second point's designed up. So if they can, really initiate to maybe about 2 minutes on the final point, I'd say this map's going to go to them.
I just realized I forgot to mention something that I mention every single time I go to Volskaya. I completely forgot it, and look at this, they're gonna do the spawn camp like I said earlier, but so everybody make sure you look at Volskaya after this, maybe even if they the cam looked at it earlier, go back and look at it. Volskaya is the only map in the game in which is a statue with eyelashes.
Did not know that. I'm going to go check that out now that you brought that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to see some spawn camping, which,
I already mentioned it.
Not map for it, but we'll see it.
Oh, this is a great map for the Finlands. The Finnish did it first, and that's going to be so much aggression from Ember, so low, but he's going to already have most of his ult, and it's only been 10 seconds. Palin's going to start pushing, though. That's not what you want to see. As the burn from the pin almost gets Cactus off, but he's going to stay alive. He's got the Zarya versus Sigma on point, crawling it out, but that's just going to be a bit of a stagger. Says Shokwa goes off the map. Oh no, that's
Panda.
Oh,
that's
no.
going to be a huge stoppage to the spawn camping right there. And Poochie fighting Helium and Vexer.
Oh, that might have lost them the defense. If they get rolled here, that Moira falling off the map might have lost it for them.
Yeah, that was definitely a setback, but they kept them at the spawn door long enough. They're going to have a good time for recontest, so they're going to get that second contest on first point, which is always a biggie on these kind of maps.
Yep, Coalescence out. Great aggression here from Ember using that, and the Shatter drops, gets 3. He does it every time, and I don't know how. Annihilator and Ace are going to get their eliminations. Picking them up, why not? Just grab them. Vexer's going to find the third as the rally comes out. Placebo tries to clutch it. Not the best decision.
Yeah, I think that might have been a throw right there, Placebo. But you know what? Right now, you've got 3 ults on the side of Ignis. You've got the Gravitic Flux. You've got the Death Blossom. You've almost got Beat Drop. And you've got Shattered Grav and Blizzard for Exodus. So all 3 ults can change the fight in a matter of a second. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out.
Oh no, what a shatter! 5 on the ground! They're going to be cleaned up instantly! The cheese was attempted, but it did nothing! They knew, chat! They knew!
Oof. They knew. Oh. Gotta love when a team just knows that. And honestly, Vex with the Gravitic Flux, just a little too late too.
Well, that's the Blossom in the back line. Ace tries to find something, but it doesn't much. Blizzard out as well. We'll try to freeze them up, but Jokwa again off the map. Just Vexer was left on the point, and that's gonna just see him roll.
Yeah, that's a huge change up, giving Exodus 4 minutes to supposedly maybe even a 2 minute for a second point. So that was a good turnaround, and honestly, to just call the little flank tactic. You hate to see it for Ignis, but you'll love to see it for Exodus.
Yeah.
I guarantee you right now, Cryptid's like, called it.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see another big shatter coming out. If it does, there's gonna be the Hammett as well, just stalling the point a little bit. Their backline. That's a shatter dropping. First one I think I've seen block the entire series except for a Sigma block. Coalescence out on both sides. Cryptic throws Ember against the wall, gets that pick, but Ace will find Placebo. That's tank for support. Fairly neutral trade if you ask me, but they're just gonna be able to push the cart a little bit more as Ace so low gets finished off by Poochie. Vexer's gonna get the backline it under control though as Panda Games drops. Now they have to get this defense rolling again. And I say rolling, pun not intended, considering the Hammond defense.
Yeah, huge play right now by Vex. Oh my goodness, Cryptic.
Oh my goodness.
What a great freaking Shatter Blossom. Cryptic just finding an opening. And you know how you were saying before, the tank and support trades? I don't have to beg to differ. It depends on what you get. Do you get an off support or do you get a main support? Do you get an off tank or main tank? That's That's where the value really comes in handy.
Fair point. Great pin from Ember. Forces Cryptic into the mines. 2K for the Hammond, but Cactus unperturbed. Gonna get 2 picks. Ember so low, has to be healed up. Grabs on Surge at the ready if he wants to throw it out. Bubble's thrown out as well. Poochie finds Ember. This attack is all of a sudden winnable from Cactus just doing such a big play. And they're gonna cap it. Poochie and Placebo will start to get the eliminations as Chad will find Vexer. And what a play from Cactus.
Huge
Grabs
play by both Placebo and Chad, keeping their team alive. And they did a good job, once again, rotating their ults. Placebo popped the rally just to have the normal sustain, and Chad, as soon as he got his coalescence, popped it, which, you know, kept Cactus up and kept everyone else up and won the fight.
Gonna be the and grab attack. The Shatter has to, or the Coalescence. Like, there goes. It's out now. That's gonna be. Oh my goodness. Panda gets so low as Poochie finds Ace. That's the first pick. That's not what you want to see. Shatter drops. It's just the Zarya, but they might be able to finish it off as the pin onto Cryptic from Ember. But the Reinhardt being out there means Poochie's completely free to drop the Blossom.
Cryptic taking the charge for Cactus right there. If he did not jump in the way, Cactus would have been falling. Not that I think it would have changed the fight, but definitely would have, you know, changed a little bit of it. But all in all, 4-0 Exodus, amazing display of power and just amazing display of all their comps.
I was really hoping it was going to be that 5-man Shatter for the play of the game. That was, it's just going to be, I say it's just going to be Ace, but this really saved them, didn't it?
Yeah, it's what won the fight there. You know, give it up though for Ignis for not giving up. They pushed hard to the very end. Like I said, I think once they get those little kinks out of, you know, old economy and some comms, I think this matchup is going to be a lot different next time. But this is a great first week for Tranquility. We've got a match tomorrow on YouTube, so everyone don't forget to go follow and subscribe. Or it'll be on Twitch. It'll be on Twitch.
Okay.
It'll be on Twitch tomorrow, so don't forget to swing by the channel again tomorrow and watch that. Should be fun. Don't forget, we also have the podcast on Monday. Let's see what NPC is going to wear next week, because I'm hoping he's repping Paradise, but that's just me.
I'm just gonna say it again. Huge Shatters. Make sure you go look at Volskaya for the eyelashes. That's the 2 things you can take away from me throughout the cast.
Yeah. But everyone, have a wonderful night. I'm Gizmo Charmander.
I'm Ty Munster.
And this is Tranquility. Stay in the iris, people. Have a good night.
I'm NPC, the Tranquility Hammer. Have you lost Overwatch games due to smurfs, levers, or throwers? Have you been on the same team as Bard? You may be entitled to compensation.
I used to be in silver. Thanks to NPC and the Overwatch Tranquility community Gear, I'm now a gold Moira player, spawn camping Ice, the Season 3 Discord tier MVP. Thanks, NPC!
Go to my website right now and let me fight for discounts for you. Go to owtranquility.org and click store, or go to shop.spreadshirt.com/owtranquility.
I've asked to remain anonymous for my safety, but I'm an admin in an Overwatch community. It can be exhausting work. But these shirts, they're so cheap, I have shirts to burn. And now thanks to NPC, I can own the Zoomers, and I can do it in style.
I'm going to hammer down prices of Tranquility merchandise this week. Up to 15%. If you place your order on July 29th or July 30th, you'll get 15% off your entire order. Go to my website now to get the SR and the Tranquility gear that you deserve. Tranquility merchandise does not guarantee victories in Overwatch or increase in skill rating. 15% off, valid on orders placed on July 29th and 30th at Spreadshirt.com.